Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for watching and listening. Look, if you're watching, you're probably on YouTube at The Right Side with Doug Billings, or Facebook, perhaps. If you're listening, we're on all of the major podcast platforms in the country. Please give us a follow. Subscribe to us, please, on your favorite podcast platform. We are attempting to find sponsors for this program. We've got a lot of good response. Some people comparing me to Rush Limbaugh. I couldn't believe it. In no way, I don't really believe that, but that's very nice, and we're getting a lot of good compliments about that and the show in general. One of the best up-and-coming new conservative political talk shows and commentaries in the country, and I'm flattered by that. Thank you very much. So today, the media and the new Democratic Socialist Party panic mode. You've got a presidential nominee on the Democratic Socialist Communist ticket who has had the worst 2 weeks in any political candidate's life. The Hunter Biden scandal, Russia, Chinagate. He's been Bobulinski'd, as I say. Tony Bobulinski, an American hero coming forth for no good of his own, only to better our country. He doesn't get anything from it. And Tucker Carlson, who is probably one of the last bastions of American journalism left. They've really dealt a blow. And so the new Democratic Socialist Communist Party and the media are in full-blown panic mode. Google searches, "How do I change my vote?" attributed to the Biden-Harris campaign because he's had such a terrible couple of weeks. And they're seeing him for who he really is. Joe Biden is the king of the swamp and the crown prince of corruption. And he has been since the day he entered politics. So how does this panic display itself, ladies and gentlemen? How does all of this display itself in the public square? So a few ways. I think, first of all, panic of the left displays itself in censorship. They think that what they've done is hatcheted up and chopped up and bloodied and killed the story, right? Well, no. And if they did kill it, it's risen to new life. And it is a powerful story that can't be hidden now. And now all they do is look like chumps. They're kind of they're between a rock and a hard place. If they say, well, all right, I guess we should play the story and talk about it, they look like fools. They're admitting that they were wrong. And if they continue not to tell the story, all it does is it makes the American people go, what a bunch of jackasses. What, do you think we're that stupid? The American people are not as dumb as the mainstream media would have you believe. Well, they're capable of high degrees of critical thought. So censorship is how panic reveals itself. I think also that you have members of the media and the new Democratic Socialist Communist Party bringing up new cases of COVID. Oh, no, just as on cue, right before the election. Oh, we're spiking in new cases, spiking. And I've said it before in other programs, new cases do not equal new deaths. I don't know how else to put it. With a survivability rate of 99.98%, I've said this since February, the COVID-19 crisis is the biggest nothing burger in the history of hysteria. Oh, well, you don't know, Doug. You didn't have anybody affected by it who you love. My mother, 81 years old, Alzheimer's disease, got it last week, coming home today. Don't tell me. Never had a symptom. That's how the vast majority of these people respond to COVID. No symptoms, and they survive. But the media will focus on the 1 or 2 or 3.009% of the cases that don't, and that's what you'll hear about. The virus is not what's the problem in this country. The virus is the least of our concerns. What's the problem is the new Democratic Socialist Party, their anarchy, their treason, and their treachery. The mainstream media is an enemy of the American people. They are the propaganda arm of the new Democratic Socialist Party. They will never, ever let you think that President Trump has done a good job. They will never let you think it. But we know. We know. All you got to do is look at the rallies. Those are the polls that matter. If you think that Biden has anybody behind him who's enthusiastic, you're intellectually immature. They might be hopeful, but they're not enthusiastic. Oh, but Doug, 55 million people have voted early. Clearly, that's got to be a sign that there's more Democrat. No, I would never be convinced of that. Evidence of the obvious is exactly the opposite. The enthusiastic people are going out to vote. It's the Republicans that are. It's going to be even people that don't like Trump are voting early because they can't stand the anarchy. So they're going to come through, these people, and we're going to see election results that have been like we've never seen before in terms of Trump victory numbers. I've said it before, and I'm going to go out on a limb again. I think that he's going to win the Electoral College in record fashion, and I think that he's going to win the popular vote. Oh, but Doug, you're really going out on a limb there. What do I have to lose? Hell, if you never heard of me before, you will after this, if my predictions are right. So the carnage that we see every day, the anarchy, these mandates that we can't gather on Thanksgiving with our family if we go above a certain number. We've got to wear our masks at home in the dining room while we carve the turkey and sip on our wine is so, I mean, it's intellectual immaturity on steroids. Then you got the media displaying panic and, well, you know, you might bring up the rallies, Doug, but what we're doing on our side is the smart thing to do. We're not causing super spreader events. Don't you know? Well, okay, sure, whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel good. You're crazy. Have you seen these things, these Biden events? Hell, Barack Obama didn't even draw 35 people. No, but we're telling people to stay away, Doug, don't you? Because we're telling them to stay away. Right. You don't even have a line of people waiting to get in that you could tell stay away. Meanwhile, you've got multiple tens of thousands of people showing up at Trump events, and the enthusiasm's off the charts. I mean, the Biden-Harris clips that you see are pathetic on multiple dozens of levels. But those are just a few of the ways that the panic in the radical left and the New Democratic Socialist Communist Party are displaying. The panic is displaying itself in those ways. They'll say the things to try to make them feel and look and sound better. But no, it's not working. It's not working. I'm not convinced. We're going to see a landslide. You're going to see all sorts of states go red that you thought would never go red before. And we owe President Trump a debt of gratitude. And I'm here to give it to him. So, Mr. President, thank you very much for everything that you've done, that your family has done for us. We want to thank you. May God continue to bless you. It's been an incredible thing to see. Just today, record economic growth of 33% in the United States. That's never happened before. And we're in the midst of this quote-unquote pandemic. Oh, and by the way, a little secret between you and me. Come in here for a minute. I want you to listen to something. We've never been in a pandemic in this country. The numbers, the definition of a pandemic is where the multitudes and the majority of people are facing catastrophe. We've never gotten there. We might have been in a case-demic. This is the biggest nothing burger in the history of hysteria, ladies and gentlemen, this virus. And all of a sudden, you don't see, there's no flu deaths. No flu deaths at all this year published. Really? Do you really believe it? People that have died from COVID don't die from COVID when it's the primary cause. Only 18,000 or so have. The rest die from multiple pre-existing medical conditions. The real tragedy, the wrecked economy caused by members of the New Democratic Socialist Communist Party by wildly unnecessary economic shutdowns. And you know it's the truth. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. The leadership of the New Democratic Socialist Communist Party, Biden, Harris, Pelosi, Schumer, all of them, they all allow the violence to continue. The mayors and governors of the Democratic states, they all allow it. And the voters rushing to the polls in mass numbers early are going there to stop that. They don't like it. Don't fool yourselves. The early voters are not the Democratic Socialist Communist members going to support Biden and Harris. Those voters, the early voters, are the voters of multiple parties, independents, libertarians, Republicans, and people who used to be Democrats, going to the polls to stop anarchy. That's what you're seeing. Get out there and vote. Don't take anything for granted. You're going to see a record turnout. You're going to see record numbers. And you're going to see a landslide victory that this country's never seen before. Evidence of the obvious is sufficient. I'm Doug Billings on the right side. Thanks for watching and listening. Please subscribe to us. And if you like the show and if you know somebody who wants to sponsor the show so that we can continue to give our message, please contact us. May God continue to bless you, ladies and gentlemen. May he continue to protect and guide President Trump, and may he please continue to bless and guide the United States of America. You have a pack of blessings on your back. Believe it. Cheers.